All right, everyone. Halloween Kills is officially out. This video will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, please go ahead and watch the movie and then come back and watch this video. Also, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell. That way, you know every time I post a new video. All right, guys, it is finally here. The movie we've all been waiting a very long time to see, Halloween Kills, is out. It's in theaters. Um, if you haven't seen the movie yet, I'm definitely going to be going into some spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, go watch the movie, then come back to this video. If you don't care about the spoilers, then let's talk about it. Um, I'm just going to jump right in and let's talk about that flashback. Whoa. I mean, it felt like we were transported right into 1978. Like sitting in the theater, I felt like I was watching deleted scenes right out of the original film. It was perfect. The entire aesthetic of that flashback. And what I mean by aesthetic is the way they shot the film. The cinematography was very similar to Dean Cundy's cinematography in the original, as far as like the camera angles and the mood that he captured. Also, part of the mood was the color grading was perfect. It matched, to me, matched scene for scene with the original film. Of course, it's going to look a little more updated, and we're talking 4K, and the time's different, but they captured the exact mood of the 1978 film. It was perfect. Um, and really, what this flashback is it's tying Hawkins into this entire storyline because I mean he wasn't so important in 2018. I mean, he played his role, but I said this in previous videos. For him to survive and go into kills, he had to play a major role, something more than just laying in the hospital bed and talking to Lori like we saw in some of the released clips. I knew it had to be more than that, and that's exactly what we got. Um, Cameron, in 2018, finds Hawkins laid out on the ground after the events earlier in the night. And then Hawkins says, it needs to die, and I have to be the one to kill him. And starts the flashback. And immediately we find a young Hawkins chasing Michael Myers and shooting at him and missing and that type of thing. And this is right after Loomis shot him 6 times off the balcony and he gets up and leaves. So everyone knows that ending in 78. Um, so Hawkins is the person that's now chasing him from that point forward. Um, and they lead right to the Myers house. And Hawkins and his partner are searching the house for Myers, and Myers does the same thing he did to Bob in '78, where he popped out of the room and pinned Bob up to the closet, put the knife through him. That same idea, he pops out of the side room in Judith's bedroom, and pins the officer to the wall, and Hawkins comes in and Myers kind of takes him hostage by the neck, and Hawkins is trying to find that clear shot and fucks up and shoots his partner in the neck, and Myers gets away. And by the time Myers gets downstairs, the entire police force is outside waiting for him, and that's how he's apprehended. Um, just wow. I was really worried about how they were going to make that work, and after seeing it, it's perfect. Um, a lot of the complaints that I heard so far have been about the Dr. Loomis character. And I don't understand that. Like I've heard some good stuff about the person playing Loomis, and I've heard some bad. I think that's about as close to perfect as you can get. Um, I mean, the look was spot on, um, and I'm hearing a lot of people saying it was CGI. I know that earlier last year there was a rumor that CGI was gonna play a part in that. They were gonna have to kind of create Doctor Loomis. Well, it turns out that's not what they did. Um, Special effects artist Christopher Nelson actually did all the makeup and effects practical. He did practical effects on this actor to make him look like Loomis, and it's spot on. The only thing that's slightly off is the voice, but to me that doesn't matter. I mean, if you nail the accent as best as possible, that's the best you can do because there's only one Donald Pleasance. You're never gonna get another voice like Donald Pleasance. You can only get as close to it as possible. And this guy did that. If that was him, I don't know if it was another actor who did the voiceover or how they did that. I didn't look too deep into it. But I thought the person playing Dr. Loomis was perfect. He did a great job. Like I said, the voice was, was hit and miss. At sometimes it sounded dead accurate, and then at others it just was a little high pitch or a little off. But that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. They they got across what they needed to get across, and it worked. And Loomis comes in, and was it him? Did he kill again? And it was great. It's absolutely great. And then we also find out that Loomis was going to shoot Myers on the spot after the police took Myers down to the ground. Loomis was going to shoot him in the head, and it was Officer Hawkins who stopped that. Um, so you find out throughout this movie that Hawkins kind of has this guilt that he probably could have stopped this. He could have prevented all of this had he just let Loomis go, let Loomis execute Myers. Um, and of course, we're going to learn later that that probably wouldn't have worked, right? So coming out of the flashback, um, the fire scene, the fire at the Strode house, just whoa. Um, I mean, we all saw the trailer, we saw all the different clips and things like that, but they're cut so fast that you get an idea of the brutality of this scene. Uh, it's gonna be a lot of gore. It's gonna be violent, but you have no idea until you see this scene on the big screen when you're watching the film. Um, I mean, it's extended. It's so much more than you see in the trailer. I mean, they go into graphic detail of what he does to these firefighters, and it is insane. Um, some of the complaints I've also heard about this film is, some of the acting. The acting wasn't perfect. I mean, no film is perfect, but I thought the person that played Lonnie and Lamb was great. Um, of course, Jamie Lee Curtis is always going to be good. Judy Greer and the main cast. I think some of the bad acting complaints are coming from some of the background people. When you look at the hospital scene, you had the one lady who kept yelling out "Evil dies tonight," and just she wasn't believable. And that's the other thing. There was so much overuse of the term "Evil dies tonight." God, I mean, they must have said that shit about 50 times in this movie. I mean, at one point, um, Tommy Doyle is in the hospital, and they think they see Myers in the hospital. And it's one of the actual escaped mental patients, but they think it's Myers. And of course, all the hospital staff, there's patients, there's families, and they all lose their shit and they start running after this guy. And Tommy, who's leading the charge, literally stops, turns around, and goes, "Evil dies tonight," and then turns around and runs back out. Like, you stopped in the middle of this ambush to yell out "Evil dies tonight." It didn't have to happen. And then and it was awkward because you even had Marion in the beginning when they're in the bar, and there's conversation going on, and Tommy's about to go outside with the baseball bat, and then you have Marion in the background, "Evil dies tonight," and it's like, why do you guys keep saying that? And there was the constant reminders of it's been 40 years. Karen Strode says it. Cameron says it. Of course, Laurie says it. You get this constant reminder every few minutes from a different person. It's been 40 years. He's been torturing our families for 40 years. He's been torturing Haddonfield for 40 years, and it's a constant reminder. And it's like, okay, we get the point. You made that clear in 2018. I could see why you might say it once or twice here, but that was more than enough. But that's kind of the extent of my complaints with this movie is the overuse of the term "Evil dies tonight," the over explanation of the 40 years. We all kind of got that already. Um, and some of the acting from some of the background people that kind of pop up here and there. Um, but I'm seeing a lot of people out there on different channels, and even not just people with channels, but people commenting on other channels and Facebook groups and things like that, where they're talking about just kind of picking apart everything about the movie. You know, like when I say picking apart the movie, I mean, you know, Myers wasn't doing this exactly perfect like he would in '78. You know, his head's supposed to tilt this way, but he tilted it that way, or he was standing the wrong way, or little dumb shit. You know, um, that people are finding to complain about with the movie, or it was too brutal, it was too violent, too much gore. The movie's fucking called Halloween Kills. We all knew this. We all saw the trailers. You knew this going into the movie. What kind of film we were getting. What kind of Michael Myers we were going to get. So I'm not really understanding like the aspect of picking apart this entire film, like every single line, every color you see, every house you see, every. I even heard somebody say that there's what is it? There's across the street from the Myers house. There's a tree that's supposed to be across the street, and that was a big deal to somebody. And it's like, why does that matter if the tree was missing? I know it was there in the original film. It's not there now. That's not where our focus should be. So there's a lot of people just picking apart the movie. Um, so I kind of wanted to take the opportunity to be the one person out there saying, you know what? I think the movie was perfect top to bottom. Um, I mean, everything from the way they organized the mob to capture Myers, and to me, the biggest thing was the suspense. The suspense was absolutely perfect in this movie. And we all know 2018 didn't have a ton of suspense. It was actually I can't think of a moment in 2018 that was particularly suspenseful to me. But this movie had a ton of it. I mean, think about when they first organized the mob and Lindsay Wallace goes out there with Marion Chambers and the other two people from Haddonfield, the doctor and the nurse costumes. Um, that scene after pretty much everyone else gets killed and you have Lindsay Wallace left, she runs from Myers, and Myers is doing that slow walk. She's running full speed. You're getting that camera angle from behind him, and you can see her in the distance running away, and you start to build the suspense. But then when she finds her hiding spot, and he's literally standing right by her, and he's just doing that slow look each direction, and her breath is almost giving away where she is because she can't contain herself. She's just trying not to scream. And that scene goes on for a long time. It's not like a quick, she's not there and I'm leaving. He sits there for a while. And you just sit there kind of on the edge of your seat like, is she going to make a noise and fuck this up? Is he going to find her? How's this going to work? And then you think he's leaving. He walks and he goes up on this little bridge, and he's right in eye shot of her. He would be able to see her if he just tilted his head a little bit, and she would be done. But he never sees her. Perfect way to build suspense right at the beginning of this movie. Um, there's the ending scene where Allison and Cameron go in the house and they're searching for Myers, and they're checking the rooms, and they find Big John and Little John, who we definitely got to talk about as well. That they were great. Um, Another suspenseful scene. It wasn't, these things didn't just happen just lightning quick. Like as soon as the camera angle popped up, boom, somebody's dying. They made you wait it out, and the music was right. The soundtrack is phenomenal. I have it right here. The soundtrack helped build that suspense, and you waited the length of that song while they searched these rooms, and you didn't know where he was going to pop out from. Um, and the same suspense with Big John and Little John, who were living in the Myers house a little bit earlier in the movie. Um, they get that knock on the door, on the back door, and then when I believe it's Little John is the one that goes to the back door. Just saw the movie once, so I'm trying to remember which one's which. But I believe it's Little John goes to the back door, and then when he gets there and opens the door, there's a knock on the front door. And okay, we're starting to build the suspense now, and then they go to the front door. Nothing. And then Big John reminds Little John, "Hey, did you lock the back door?" Now we're building more suspense. Now we're, oh shit, the back door's probably unlocked. And when he gets back there, he sees the blood stain from Michael's 3 fingers that he has left on the side of the wall, and the door's cracked open. And I think the garbage can was knocked over. Um, and now this guy's in the house. Now they're like, oh shit. And you're hearing footsteps, and it's a slow build while they search the house until eventually they find him, and then he takes care of them, you know? Um, and there's a lot of scenes like that, and that's what this movie needed that 2018 didn't have. It needed the suspense, and there's plenty of it in this movie. Um, so this movie's, the flashbacks were perfect. The the atmosphere of Halloween on both nights, whether you're talking about the 78 flashback or the present day or 2018 present day in the movie. They kind of fix the colors. They're not so warm anymore. They're more cool colors. It feels more fall like when you're looking at it. So cinematography is perfect. The color was perfect. The acting I thought was great, regardless of what anyone says. I thought Dr. Loomis was, or the actor that played Dr. Loomis, phenomenal. The suspense was there. There's probably so much more that I'm not even thinking of. Like I said, I took a little bit of time to formulate thoughts, but I didn't go back and watch it again. So I'm just kind of going off my initial thoughts fresh out of what I remember about the movie. Um, but let me know what you guys think. Did you like this movie? Did you think Kills was a worthy sequel? Do you think it was better than 2018? Do you think 2018 was a better film? Did you appreciate the violence and the gore? Because that's a different side of Myers that we normally don't get from a lot of Halloween films. We get some, but we don't get this level of gore from Myers. So, is that something that you guys liked? Did you think it was suspenseful enough? Um, did you just hate the movie all the way around? Which is fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. You know, for me, I'd have a hard time not putting that in my top three right now. But again, I'm still fresh out of the movie. I'm still on that high of, whoa, what did I just watch? Um, and also, how did I forget this? The ending scene. I mean, Karen leading Michael out of the house with his mask. And I'm glad they didn't show too much of his face. I know I've done a few videos about the idea of what if they showed his face full on staring into the camera for an extended period of time. Maybe that happens and ends. We'll talk about that more in the future. But um, I love the way she lured him out of the house. He gives chase, then he loses her, and then finds his mask on the floor. Reaches for the mask, and these fucking car lights come on, and he is surrounded by the entire town, who then they shoot him. I think they fired like 4 or 5 shots right into his chest at point blank. They beat the shit out of him with bats and 4x4s, and they kick him in the head. I mean, they beat his ass. And then Karen puts that knife through the back of through his back, like right under his neck. And you think he's done, movie over. And she goes back to the Myers house to meet up with Allison. And then she looks up at Judith Myers' room and sees young Michael in his clown costume. And I think that's more metaphor. I don't know. Again, Myers, did he is he paranormal or supernatural rather? Did he force her to see that? I doubt it. I think it was just her thinking like, what's up there? Like, what is it about this place? And I think it was more psychological. I don't think she actually saw him, but that's we'll find out. Maybe. But to go up to the room and Myers is in there and kills her in the same spot that he killed Judith Myers right after he woke up from that ass beating and killed everyone else in the mob. Whoa. Um, so going back to what I was saying before about this being in my probably in my top three of Halloween films now, 3 or 4 films. Um, for me it was all of it. The flashbacks, the feel of the movie. It was the story. It was the legacy characters coming back. it was the ending more than anything. That ending just, the credits rolled and I was still sitting in my seat after everyone left, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? What did I just watch? Um, this movie is in my right now because I'm on that high of just having seen it. Um, it's in my top three. Of course, that could change. Maybe after a couple of watches and watching it, with some of the other movies, and maybe it moves down the list. Maybe it moves to the top of the list. I don't know. Um, but as of right now, from what I've seen, this is probably one of my favorite sequels to date. I think they did a great job. Um, like I said, I'm hearing a lot of, whether it's channels or just people commenting on different forums, with a million and one complaints, and of course there's a lot of good ones out there. There's a lot of mixed reviews out there, and there's the bad reviews. Um, I just kind of wanted to use my platform to say I think this is one of the best Halloween films we've had in a long time. Um, and I think they nailed it 100% top to bottom. I think everything about it was great. Um, and I'm looking at it from the point of, the casual fan. Regardless of my experience in the entertainment industry and all, I try to put all that aside going into a movie like this. I don't want to listen for every little sound. I don't want to look at every little detail and what's not right, what they should have done different. I don't care. I want to sit down as a fan and just enjoy the movie and watch it with from that lens. And doing it that way, I was able to just enjoy this movie, and I think it was phenomenal. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Do you think this was a great movie? Do you think the movie sucked? Did you like the suspense? All that good stuff. Let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you in my next video.